And action.
So you're in a movie theater watching the credits. You're in a coffee shop. You're in a hardware store. And you hear a song that catches your attention. And you think, wow, I'd love to learn more about that song. How do I figure out who it is and what the song is? You hold up your phone, you get your app going, and bam! Shazam gives you the answer that you want. Welcome to the Shazam Bam episode of the Art of the Playlist.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'm Patty Pino, and I'm here with my two close friends, Christian and Rob.
Hi, Patty. You know, hi,
Hello,
Rob.
gentlemen. Are you?
By the way, we're not getting paid by Shazam for any of this, unless they want to spend money.
No, this is not a sponsored episode, but it is an episode where we're talking about one of the tools we use to build our playlists or to learn about new music or to discover what's out there in the world in terms of expanding our horizons with music, which is kind of the way we operate, right?
And what did we do before Shazam? That's
the thing. You would have to wait for all the end of the credits at the movie theater and try to spot it when it was scrolling. Or if you're at home and watching it on some kind of media, you could pause it and try to catch the name of the song. You'd have to walk up to, I don't know, the person working there and ask them what station is on. It was really archaic.
Yeah, I remember distinctly remember before it wasn't before the internet, but before there was Shazam, listening to local radio stations to try to hear like the newest dance music to play in the nightclubs. And I distinctly remember hearing one song on some station out in Long Island that played dance music that I could barely get. And they played this amazing song that had almost no lyrics. The only lyrics were up and down, up and down. And I'm like, how am I ever going to figure out who did this song? I got so frustrated not being able to find it that I ended up calling the radio station to talk to the DJ that played it. Like there was just no way to identify the track. So calling the station and asking was all you could do at that point.
Or you go to the record store, right? And those people were very knowledgeable. I'm not saying they're not now, but they had to be super on their game because you'd be going in there, it's a song that goes like da da da, right? and you hope that they can figure out what the hell you're talking about.
And then like I remember I had to order that record from overseas. I did like a Google search of it at the time. The only record store that was selling it was in London. So I ordered it from overseas. It took weeks to get here. And then finally, when it arrived, it was like you really appreciated that song because you had to work so hard to get it. That's the problem today is we don't have that. We have instantaneous access to everything. So you don't feel like that object that arrived in the mail is valuable in any way.
Our lives have certainly shifted in terms of the way we obtain music, the way we listen to music. That's why I'm going to give our tagline, a music podcast of curated playlists and the stories that motivated them. That's why we're doing this, because we've lived across these eras where the whole experience of music has shifted. And we're trying to bring back the connection between songs and life. And sometimes with the conveniences, we lose some of the humanity of it or some of the connectivity of it. And I mean connectivity by human connection, not just electronic ones and zeros.
So Patty, this is a really important concept, but I have to understand why like when we were preparing for the episode, I'm like, well, let me think about why I Shazam songs. It's not because I want to be indoctrinated into some algorithm. It's the opposite. It's either one of three things is what I realized. I either want to identify the song because maybe I know it, but I can't remember the name of the artist or the title of it. Or I hear something brand new that I want to know what the heck that was because I've never heard anything like it before. And then the third way, which might speak to my age, is the fact that sometimes I Shazam something just so I can remember it. So I come back to it later and explore it because otherwise I'll forget that I even heard that song.
Yes, that happens to me too. Or it's a song I know, and I'm like, "What is that song? I know it."
Yes. Jeff and I do that all the time. We'll hear a song and we'll be like, "Is that Sarah Vaughan or Etta James or who is it?" And we'll Shazam
Yeah,
it, you know?
totally.
It clarifies the details, which is great. And I mean, for those of you who don't have Shazam, it's an app you can put on your smartphone to do this stuff, and it shows you the artist and who the artist is. It shows you in some cases, the lyrics of the song, what album it's on. So it gives you a good set of data if you're interested in pursuing the music in another way. It also can link with Apple Music, and you can have it build a playlist from the stuff that you've Shazammed. So
I think it's
Yeah,
built into the iPhone now. I think it comes as part of
it
the OS.
is it Shazam that's built in? Because
I
I have the app separate, and then when I Shazam something on the iPhone, it builds a playlist that's called My Shazam Tracks in Apple Music with everything I've ever Shazammed. So when I went through my list, I think I've Shazammed like 332 different songs since the
wow.
beginning of Shazam. I've been doing it since, like, I don't know. What did you say was invented, Patty?
It was developed in 2006 and it came out on the iPhone in 2008.
Yeah.
So
So I don't know if is it built in, like, does that, if I ask Apple to name the song, does that go into my Shazam playlist? Christian, you need to answer these important questions.
Shazam is built directly into the iPhone, the iPad, and Mac via the control center,
Oh, okay.
and there you have it.
fascinating.
Love it.
Yeah, I mean, I had put it on my phone years ago, so I did not know. That's very
Yeah.
cool. Go Shazam. I don't know where it was developed or whatever, but I think it's an extremely useful tool in terms of curating music. So, um, well, Rob, you talked about how you Shazammed over 300 songs. I Shazam occasionally. A couple times a month. I went back a year with my Shazam. Not, I mean, I have many years on there, but I just went back a year in terms of pulling lists for this playlist. Um, Chris, how about you? Are you a frequent user or less frequent?
No, I'm probably even less frequent than you. I went back and I've used it for many years, but maybe 10, 20 times a year. I don't use it as often as Rob. But that being said, having kind of gone through this again, I'm like, I really need to make better use of this. It is a great tool. It's super easy. So I like the idea. I got to get back on the bandwagon, like I said,
On the Shazam wagon.
the Shazam wagon.
The term Shazam comes from Captain Marvel, who's actually part of the DC universe, and I don't understand how all that stuff works. But Shazam was the magic word that turned him into a superhero. So this is our way of being music superheroes by
The more
using
you
our
know.
Shazam. Well, Christian, since your playlist is out there and you're talking about that you don't use it as much, why don't you start today? So we'll
Shazam. All right. So yeah, I use it for different things. A lot of what we talked about, right? Like you're in a movie or you're in a bar or you're watching TV and you're like, that's a cool song, or I know that song, I know that artist, but I can't figure out what it is. And it just helps trigger the thinking around it. And I went through my playlist and I had These Sacred Souls on there, Jamiroquai, Modest Mouse, right? Like it's like Modest Mouse has such a distinctive sound in the indie rock world, right? It's when you hear them, but you're like, I don't know what the heck that song is. Um, so that was one that I had, and then when I started getting into jazz, it was a great help because I'd hear something, I'd be like, I have no idea, right? It's like a whole other world.
And there's no,
So
like, lyrics frequently to even
a lot
base
of
it off of.
times,
Like, where'd it even
exactly.
go?
Right. And if you're not a real jazz guy, you don't know, is that Miles Davis or, John Coltrane or, what is this? So, yeah, I found Cannonball Adderley, who is great, by the way. This song, Autumn Leaves, and it's one of the most recorded songs in jazz history. And I didn't know that. I was like, wow, this is really cool. Uh, I also had Art Blakey in the Jazz Messengers because he really kind of created the hard bop jazz sound. Um, so that was pretty cool. But then I
Yeah.
also had the White Stripes, Hello Operator. I was like, I know the song, but I couldn't place it. Patti Smith, Dancing Barefoot. I don't know if you guys know that one.
I don't know that one.
Okay, we'll check it out. Most recently, well, fairly recently, I'll say, I was watching this show called Slow Horses on Apple TV. It's got Gary Oldman on it. And it's a really cool show. I enjoy it a lot. And the song, the theme song, I'm like, I know that dude. Who's that? I mean, wait a minute. Like, it's Mick freaking Jagger. That's who it is.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah. I was like, so it's called Strange Game. And it was like, it's a dark, booty tone, and it really fits the thriller atmosphere of the show. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then even, Split Ends I had on my list, and Shawn Mendes. So I don't know. I think it was fun to go back and see some of those songs too, because I had forgotten some of them. Yeah, great tool. Got to use it more. That's what I
Yeah,
come
and
down to.
I think one of the cool things about the playlist was I had so many songs on it that when I went to prepare for this episode, I just put that playlist on shuffle. And like that's a really cool way to like rediscover songs you rediscovered already.
Right. That's a great
Yeah.
idea. I'm going to do that.
I do agree that it can be a shuffleable list because it is a random way of pulling music out of different spaces in your life, right?
Yes.
So.
Yeah. There's no theme other than I don't know what that song is.
There you go. Maybe we should have named this episode that, but okay, Rob. Well, since you've been so enthusiastic, why don't we hear about your playlist?
Sure. So I had when I went through my list, I looked at not only the songs, but I looked at a couple of the key statistics from my playlist. One of the things I noticed was that most of the times I'm Shazamming is at around that like 7-8 o'clock p.m. hour. So I thought to myself, well, what's going on at that time? And it turns out that's prime time for like social activities when you're listening to music with other people in restaurants or bars or parties or something like that. That's when I do most of my musical discovery, apparently. So that was an interesting fact that I saw that late evening kind of time zone was when I Shazam the most often. And then the second one was the wide variety of genres on my playlist. It is wildly eclectic. Like I have everything from hip hop, house music, jazz, but then I've got like Irish folk music on there. I've got ambient music. I've got jazz. It looks like more like playlists of like somebody that's an unhinged record collector than just a DJ wanting to know what songs are. It was a little bit crazy in the diversity of the songs, but like I said, I use it for a variety of different things, from identification to discovery to just memory to triggering. So I kind of picked songs or a couple songs in each one of those categories. And the first one I think you guys will get a kick of was Self Control by Laura Branigan. So that's a song that is definitely 80s synth, and everyone recognized the song, but you can never know. At least I don't remember it's Laura Branigan. Like I don't even remember her as a substantial artist in the 80s. So that was on my list of songs that I used to help identify. Do you guys remember that song?
Absolutely.
I remember her.
Yeah, I remember her too, but you're a little younger.
The second one on my identification song was Blame It on the Boogie by the Jacksons.
Oh,
That's
yeah. That's a
Wow.
cool song.
And
Wow,
I always thought that was Michael Jackson on a solo record. It turns out that's the Jackson 5. Like that's when he did that song. I was shocked at that. But that's a cool song. Like it's got that disco groove. It was like early stage disco. It was really
Right.
good. And I like it. Like listening back to it, I'm like, yeah, no wonder why I Shazam that. That was a good song. And then the third one on that list was Summer Madness by Kool and the Gang. Do you guys, do you know that song? It's like a really you would know. It's been sampled a ton in hip
I was
hop.
going to say, yeah.
I just
That's
don't
how
know
I
the
know it
title
best.
of it.
If you
Yeah.
heard it, you'd be like, "Oh, that's it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It puts you immediately in the summer vibe, which I think is really cool. So that's the other one. And then what I also use it for discovery. So songs that I heard somewhere unexpected that I wanted to identify. And one of the crazy ones that I found on my list was I'm going to try to pronounce this correctly, but "Si tu vois ma mère." It's
Okay.
like
French.
French
Mhm.
by Sidney Bechet, and that was a jazz song, like almost like New Orleans jazz. It sounds like it's from like an old French film, but
Oh,
that was on my like really late night discovery. So I have no idea where I heard that song, but I liked it enough to Shazam it and make sure I heard it back again later. So that was a neat one that I discovered again. And then another one I heard was this really ambient atmospheric track called "Dissolving Time" by the Huva Network, HUVA Network. I don't
Hmm.
know anything about the artist. I don't know anything about that song in particular, but I know now that I listened back to it on shuffle and it came up that I'm gonna have to go explore that band a little more because it has all the makings of something that I really liked. So that was pretty cool. And then the last one in discovery was "The Four Green Fields" by the Dubliners. And for those that don't know, my wife is 100% Irish, and St. Patrick's Day is a big time of the year. And so I looked up the date and time that I Shazammed that song, and it was, of course, around St. Patrick's Day. It was March of 2018 at 8 p.m. somewhere. So it tells
it's
me
in a bar somewhere.
I
Right.
was
A
doing
pub.
something Irish, probably had a Guinness or two.
Yeah.
But it's
Mhm.
a really cool Irish folk song that and has like that storytelling vibe that a lot of the Irish songs. So it was kind of fun now that we're in that time of year again. It was kind of cool to look back on that and hear that song. And the last category was stuff I wanted to remember. So that and there are often songs that like I thought were cool and wanted to revisit, but didn't have the time right there and then. And one of them was "The Line" by D'Angelo. You guys probably know D'Angelo
For
from
sure.
yeah,
Mhm.
D'Angelo, very like classic kind of neo soul R&B. But he did that song and it's a kind of a deep cut on one of his albums that I had never heard before. And so when that hit on my shuffle, I'm like, wow, that's a really great song. I've got to come back to that. And then there's also some of the standard stuff that I listen to, like more on the alternative tip. One of the songs was "Under the Pressure" by the War on Drugs. Do you guys know the War on Drugs?
No.
No.
Really cool. I think it's 2000s alternative music. But it's very atmospheric but it's also that kind of straight ahead rock sound. The War on Drugs is a great band in general. So you should look up, but definitely listen to that song "Under the Pressure" because it's a real good song. And then the last one in that category was "Prototype" by Outkast. And I don't have any idea where I heard that, which is kind of cool to kind of remember or try to figure out where you heard that. But that's we all know Outkast as one of the
Sure.
big hip hop groups, but this is a really emotional and melodic song, which is must have been another deep cut off of one of their albums. And so I don't know where I heard it, but I it was so good that when I heard it back on shuffle, I'm like, oh my god, I got to go listen to this album again because it was so interesting of a song coming from Outkast, which you think is just like straight up hip hop. It was very different than their normal stuff.
It's very interesting. I wonder if you can enable location services with Shazam so that you could be like, go back and be like, oh yeah, I was in this bar in Paris and that's where I heard that song, something like that. That might be interesting.
I looked that up to try to figure out if you could do that, and I think that Shazam itself has a function that enables location, but I think because we're so privacy sensitive these
Uh,
days, I think it gets automatically turned off by default in the iPhone, so you probably have to enable it,
gotcha.
and I think it would be cool to know going forward, so I might go back and enable that on my list.
Right. Interesting.
Pretty
That's
cool.
all I had, Patty. What about you?
Oh man. So um we don't often we don't often pressure each other to listen to our playlists, but I really, really think that both of you should listen to my Shazam playlist. Both of you would like most of the stuff on it. About 75% of it are groups you probably never heard of, and about 25% are groups that you may have heard of that are not like super mainstream, and it's deeper cuts. So most of the stuff on there, I mean, I kind of pulled off the, hey, I don't remember if it's Ella Fitzgerald or Sarah Vaughan stuff. And what was left is all really good, interesting music that I need to revisit. I'm realizing that I'm not taking advantage of the Shazam stuff, and some of this stuff is going to definitely make its way to other playlists as we walk through it. But I broke mine down into 3 specific songs that Rob would like and 3 specific songs that Christian would like.
Oh,
So
very
I'm going to
thoughtful
talk
of you,
about that.
Patty.
So Rob, the first song came out in 2015. I don't know if you know this guy. He's a Swiss musician and actor named Thomas Karatli, but he records under the name Pirate, Pyrit. And he had a
Oh.
song called Fade Away. And he talks about his music. He says his music is about desires, questions, and anxieties. And his stuff is really spacey and trippy. And I think it totally falls into that piece of your music taste category. So Fade Away by Pirate is the first one for you.
Definitely check that out.
The second one is by a guy out of Atlanta, kind of the underground scene. I think he got his start by putting stuff online and making it available for free. His name is Russ, or he records under Russ, but his name is Russ Vitale. Hip hop reggae vibe. The song is What They Want. And he's got 10 million followers online. So he's out there, and he's had some real top albums. He's worked with Eminem, and he's worked with some big hip hop guys as a writer producer kind of vibe. But this song, What They Want by Russ, I think you would dig the groove of it. It's like a slow hip hop with reggae kind of beats to it. And the third song is Old School. Because I know you have this like old school soul R&B piece of your taste profile, and it's an old Curtis Mayfield song called So in Love from 1975. Big horns, falsetto voice, harmonies. It's got all the makings of a, hey, I'm going to play this on date night with my wife soul song for you.
That's awesome.
So those
And
are
you kind of nailed me, Patty. So yeah, I'll have to add those onto my date night playlist if it works for me. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, definitely check those out. Chris, I got some stuff that I think is in your wheelhouse, and then the rest of the stuff in between, just before we go into the stuff for you, Christian, the rest of the stuff in between is like more alt rock, jazz, R&B, soul. Like you guys would like all the other stuff that I'm not highlighting as well. There's like 20 something songs on my list. It's not super long. But Chris, the first song I want to talk to you about is a deep cut from Willie Nelson.
Oh.
But it's like a honky tonk vibe song from 1965. It's called Are You Sure? And he wrote it and recorded it. And it seems like the kind of song you'd be playing like hanging out with your buddies, drinking some beers. It would be on that kind of playlist for you.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
I like
I
invited to that party, by the way.
I think my whole playlist, I was joking with a couple of my friends, my whole playlist would be like if I had a community radio show, like when I listen to a lot of like community radio, college radio, that kind of thing, this list would be something that I would program. Like Rob said, it's all over the place, but I feel like it's reflective of me, this playlist. For sure.
I think by the nature of Shazam, right? Because we all have, I think, pretty good individual tastes. And if you're like, oh, I like that song, I don't know what it is, it's probably a good song, right?
Probably. I did Shazam, and I eliminated those, but I did Shazam a couple of bad songs because I was like, who would be playing this? Why? So I did no, just to know who they were so I wouldn't listen to them, but I did not leave those on my list. So, All right, Chris, 1965, Willie Nelson, Are You Sure? 2024, Slash came out with an album, a blues album called Orgy of the Damned. Don't sleep on Slash. I mean, he's the,
He's got skills.
he's a world famous guitar player for Guns N'
Yeah.
Roses and Velvet Revolver, and he does other projects with people. But the stuff he does, he's a very selective, talented musician. Jeff and I actually saw him on this tour. He all the blues songs he did on the album are covers, and he covered a 1969 Fleetwood Mac song called "Oh Well," and he did it. He doesn't sing, so Chris Stapleton sang it. So it's kind of a cool, slow blues rock / Stapleton jam, and I think you'll really like it.
Very intrigued.
Before
Chris
I go
Stapleton.
on, go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry. No, Chris Stapleton was on my country music for country haters playlist because he has that very bluesy tone in his voice and his playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could go both any way, right?
Oh yeah,
it's
he's
interesting.
a talented guy too. So the two of them together, it's a cool tune. I want to talk about early Fleetwood Mac. It's a 1969 Fleetwood Mac. Early Fleetwood Mac has a different vibe than the stuff that came into the fore in like the 80s,
You wouldn't know it was the same band. I mean, it didn't have Stevie Nicks, and it was just so different.
Yeah. So there's
It's just-
something to be benefited by looking at their history too. I mean, Stevie Nicks and all that was all good, interesting.
Oh yeah, just different
stuff,
That's
but
all.
it's just different. Yeah, for
I
sure.
didn't even know Fleetwood Mac was a band before Stevie Nicks and what's his name? What's the guitarist's name?
Lindsey Buckingham.
Lindsey Buckingham.
Yeah,
they were a
came in
band before
together.
that?
Yeah, total. Nick Fleetwood's been around for forever.
Yeah, Buckingham and Nicks were together, and then they merged with Fleetwood Mac.
Exactly.
Like they became a part of
okay.
it. So they were doing their thing, and they were doing their thing, and then they all became a thing. The last song, Chris, I think you would really like is a 2006 tune by a band that no longer exists. And Joey LaFrance, this is a song for you too. It's an alt rock, garage rock, New York City sound. The band's called Morning Wood, and the song is called New Rock, N-U with the little umlaut over it, rock, R-O-C-K. And it's just got that cool garage rock sound. And it's a female singer. Her name is Chantel Claret. And she's gone out on her own now. I haven't looked into her solo stuff, but I am going to since I rediscovered all this stuff for this episode of the podcast. And I'm going to check out her vibe. But this band, Morning Wood, definitely had that sound that we all like, the garage rock alt sound. So I think you would dig it.
That's a great band name.
Morning Wood. Yes, and she broke the band up. They no longer exist. But there's a lot of other cool, like a couple of things that other garage rock kind of sounds on my playlist. There's stuff that's got a lot of good harmonies. I really like a good voice. I really like a good voice. I really like a good guitar. I really like a good cohesive song.
Yeah, a vibe. Like some I don't want to sound like an old curmudgeonly person, which I know I can. Off my
but
lawn.
some of the newer songs, like in the alt scene that I've listened to recently, they start out being like, oh, this is going to be really cool, like funk, heavy, deep. And then they go into like some weird emotional pop sound, or they go into some like rah, 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 rah. And I'm like, wait, what? Like you were over here and now you're over here. How is that one song? So I prefer if a song, like you guys said, brings a vibe and has cohesion and brings you through. So all my songs on here kind of do that. There's no barking into the microphone.
No barking.
Tunes. Not on this one. Not until we do like I don't know, King Diamond playlist or something. I don't know, something like that. So that's my playlist. I think we all have some interesting and unique stuff going on. I mean, we're always doing deep cuts and we're always doing bands that we want to learn more about, but in this case, it's even more so. Do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. And it pulled stuff out of left field, right?
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts?
Nope,
No,
that's
I'm
it.
excited to see your playlist, and I think, Patty, that was very thoughtful, picking out songs especially for us, so I can't wait to go
Oh.
check them out. That's the
I
kinda
just would
girl you
listen
are.
to I was just listening to them like, "Oh, Rob would love this. Oh, Christian would love this." So, like, that's where that came from, just hearing it and knowing you guys would dig it, so all
Very
right.
cool.
Well, thank you to everyone for listening and checking out and watching the Art of the Playlist. We're here every Sunday and but available at all times because that's how TV, video, media stuff works. But another piece of it that works is if you put like and if you subscribe. That helps us because it helps tell the world. The more you like us, the more there'll be of us. That's a warning.
Yeah. Yeah, and share your songs with us too.
Oh,
I'd
for
love to
sure.
see what other people are listening to on Shazam and the stuff
Absolutely.
from left field with them.
Yeah, we've had some really good input from people with their comments on the different formats. So, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, our playlists are on Spotify and Apple Music. And remember, trust us, not the algorithm.
Bye now.
Bye.